Welcome to my channel, Sonia Unapologetic. My name is Sonia, and if you've been here before, welcome back. This is my second panel discussion about the Black dating experience beyond 40. So we have a few new faces, and we just asked them about their dating experience and how it's been out here in this dating pool. So before we go any further, subscribe, you guys. I would really appreciate it. It is free to subscribe. Like this video and any other videos that you view on this channel, like them as well. So without further ado, here's the video. You guys enjoy. What has been, just a summary, what your dating experience has been, just your dating experience overall, not just your dating experience past 40, but just overall. So we're gonna go with Patavas first, but then we also wanna know what your dating experience has been, but what did you expect versus reality? So has your dating experience, measured up to what you expected? So Mr. Patavas, we'll let you go ahead and take it away.
Good evening, everyone. I would say if I had to grade my dating experience overall, I would say I would give it probably a B minus. Since turning 40, I would say probably the same B minus. Really not big on what the expectations are, because to me, expectations are what you tolerate. So it's whatever I tolerate going into the dating experience or whatnot. Is that what I'm gonna get out of it at the end of the day? But I mean, overall, I think the dating experience, when I hear people say that there's no one out there over a certain age, I kind of get mixed feelings. Okay, like, is it you? What is it about them what is it about everybody else that you can't seem to find someone? And I know it was big on letting my age dictate anything as far as marriage or nothing like that. So I would say dating is cool. And I was small town, Shreveport, Louisiana. Spent a year in Memphis, and it pretty much was about the same. One thing different was I noticed the women in Tennessee was a little bit more aggressive than Louisiana.
Do you want aggressive?
A little bit more aggressive, yes.
You want aggressive?
Huh?
You want aggressive?
No, it depends on. Depending, but I noticed the women in Memphis were a little bit more aggressive than the women in Shreveport. But overall, I think my dating experience has been, great. I have no complaints about it, and I like it.
So what's a summary? Like, has your dating experience been serious relationships after serious relationship? Like maybe like you were with a woman for 3 years and then that, ended, and then with another woman for a few years, like exclusive relationships, and then just ended? Or has it just been casual dating? Like, what's been your experience?
It's been casual dating. I know it's just been in serious relationship, out of serious relationship, getting out of one, jump back into another. No, it's been casual from time to time, but I have had serious relationships as well, committed relationships as well. So it's kind of like a mixture, but more or less casual.
Mm-hmm. And so what is it that you feel like you want for the future? Do you feel like, just as long as you're enjoying yourself, or do you want to be married, or do you not want to be married? Or
I think that's the end game. That's the ultimate goal at the end of the day. But like I said earlier, I'm not big on letting my age dictate whether I should be married or not. I hear a lot of people say, well, you're getting up in age, you should get married. That don't mean anything, because I dated a female that was a lot older than I was, and that was very immature. So age does not scream maturity at the same time as well. I didn't want my age to dictate to say, hey, I need to get married, because I feel if I'm not married, now dating someone and it's not working out is different, but getting married to someone and for all the wrong reasons and not doing the right thing, that's you ruining someone's life if you look at it.
Shawnee or Parisha, do you guys have any questions for Mr. Patavas here? Patavas, I hope I said it right.
Let's call me Black. That'd be fine.
Black. Okay. Yeah. He's like, she ruined my name altogether.
No, you said it right. But either or.
Question. And, you kind of answered it just a bit, but I want you to expound upon that answer. You stated that you dated some phenomenal women. You stated career-minded, and then there was an et cetera there. You didn't go too, much further. However, you said, but it just didn't work out. And not to get personal, or not for you to give me any personal reasons, but why do you feel that it just didn't work out? Like, what do you feel the reasons would have been that it just didn't work out?
Someone got a dog out here. Just red flags. Like simple red flags. I feel like when I said earlier, expectations is what I would tolerate. Is what you tolerate. If it's something I don't really want to tolerate or something like that, we can be friends, but I don't want to go any further in this. And not in a bad way. I don't think any of my exes and I are enemies. We see each other, we might speak, wave, and it's, hey, how you doing? What you been up to? Or something like that. But I don't think I have an enemy ex, if that makes sense. But just some red flags that I feel like I said, I didn't want to tolerate. Even if we discussed them briefly, I might ask, their opinion on something, and it might give me. And like I say, we're not married, so I don't owe you anything. You don't owe me anything. So we just dating. So we can cut this dating off and just be friends and keep it like that. But just I would say some form of red flag. Some of my huge pet peeves are, I hate for a female to think she can buy me and just get me stuff. Oh, let me get this, let me do this. I hate that with a passion. I hate to wake up to a text message this long because I'm not going to read it. I'm going to be honest with you. I hate to be questioned in some degree. It depends on if it's like a no-brainer question. Say for instance, me, you just met. 2 weeks in, we just kicking it, go out on a date a couple times. I hate to get interrogated. Where you been? Who you was with? What time you went there? What y'all go do? I hate that. Because, if you're doing that now, we just starting dating, and we decided to go a little bit further, get committed, married, and all that. Damn, I might not be able to get out the house, if that makes sense.
You talked about expectations.
I say red flags.
Talked about expectations too. So do you typically try to set those expectations? And I'm not saying going in like date 1, date 2, and just be like, all right, now here's a list of my expectations. Nope. So you don't. So then when a person doesn't live up to that expectation that you have set, do you say, hey, cut out, I'm done the first time it happens? Do you give them a pass? Do you say, I'm going to try to,
I would give a pass, but the thing with this is, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not big on telling when people say, hey, what are you looking for? Or something like that, because if I tell you what I'm looking for, you're going to try to mimic that. Even though it might not be you, and if you like me a lot, you might try to mimic that, but then I'm meeting someone that's not you. So then I feel like, we're there and whatnot, then you might revert back to your old self. I'm not big on saying, hey, what kind of women you like? I don't have a preference. I'm not gonna tell you that, but because if I say, hey, I like quiet, church going, next thing you know, you're gonna be Sunday school, Bible study, you're gonna be doing all that to try to impress. So I'm not big on saying it. I'm not big on saying this is what I like, this is my preference and things like that, because like I say, people use representatives. You're gonna be a person representative. So, but just to answer your question, I'm not gonna just say one thing, but it now depends on what it is. And I got a funny story real quick. When I was in Memphis, I met a chick in Memphis, and we met at the gym. And we talk on the phone there in the morning and the evening. So, and I see her at the gym. So one time I called her, but she didn't answer. But her phone picked up. And then in the background, you can hear her getting busy.
Oh, so my goodness.
I on the phone real quick. I was like, oh shit, I hung the phone up. So the next morning she called, she said, hey friend, how you doing? I said, I'm good. She was like, she just called like normal morning. I was at my desk. So She was like, how was your day yesterday? And I said, it's cool. I said, what about yours? She was like, I got out of work, I was just so tired. I wasn't feeling well, and so I just went home. I'm like, okay. I was like, well, you know, I call you. She was like, oh yeah, I did see you. I had a missed call from you. I was like, well, no. And I joked with her because at the end of the day, I couldn't get mad. I didn't get mad because she didn't owe me anything. I ain't owe her anything because we were just cool. So she said, I had a missed call from her. I said, no. I said, your phone answered. And I joked with her. I said, it sounded you was busy getting busy. So she was like, what you talking about? So I explained to her. She was like, no. I said, well, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been knowing you roughly 2 weeks. You don't have to lie to me. I mean, I'm not naive to know that, hey, you ain't been seeing someone, quote unquote, and just all of a sudden you just free. So she was like, well, let me call you back. So she hung up, and then I got this long text message to her explaining to me, apologizing how embarrassed she was. But needless to say, we still was cool, but it wasn't the fact that she was in a sexual relationship with someone when I called her, the fact that she lied to me off the dump about something she didn't have to lie to me about.
But then one thing that also stuck out, you talked about women trying to buy you. From what we've spoke about, I think you predominantly dated Black women. And
I'm not knocking nobody's preference, but I always dated. I mean,
you're in Shreveport, so there's a plentiful amount of chocolate in Shreveport. But yeah, I don't understand what it is that a lot of times our sisters have been, I don't know, we've been programmed to try to buy men. And for you didn't like it, but for a lot of men, they love it. Or a lot of men are looking for that. They're looking for, who's gonna let me move in? If she's a single mom, I know the cereal is in the pantry. I know she got the good snacks. There's men who are looking to be someone's, third or fourth child. But it's weird. I just don't understand. Like, we have a lot of role reversal. And yeah, we're a unique, community, opposed to other cultures, to where a lot of times the roles get flipped. And a lot of times when Black women will say, well, no, I want to rest in my femininity. I want a provider. I want a protector. A lot of times she gets attacked. So it's like a catch-22. It's like, if you are trying to buy a man and maybe take on, a masculine role, it's like you're attacked. But then if you're not doing that, you're like, I want to rest in my femininity and I want to, maybe provided for, or the man be the breadwinner or whatever, you're attacked for that as well. It's really weird, but that's interesting. Like, and so would you say it happened a lot? Did you have like more than 2 women who tried to do that?
I would talk in my head, I could think of 2, might have been more, but just 2. But I mean, as a man, why would you want a woman to have that much control? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I know Parisha and Sean got sons. Think about when you was buying your sons, when they was growing up and you was doing for them. They're young men now, but you brought them stuff. You had control over them. And not saying that, what I mean by control, now some women, they can go to their head like a power trip. They can be like, well, I brought you this, so you need to do this, you better do this. No, I'm good. I can get my own. Simple as that. I can cook for myself. If not, I get takeout. But I had 2 that really did that. And they were just like, well, let me get you this. I'm like, it's not even my birthday. It's not even Christmas.
Yeah, that's, I think for Black women, sometimes that's the way, and when I say we, but that's the way we compete. And I feel like for a lot of times of Black women, that's sometimes the way we felt like we've had to compete. And it's been ingrained even to our music. We was growing up listening to, hey, Barbara, this is Shirley. It's like, I paid for his car note, all the clothes on his back I paid for. And, that was normal for a lot of women, probably more so normal in our community than other communities. And so I think a lot of sisters feel like that's the way they have to compete. But we're gonna go to Jessica, we'd love to hear, just a summary of your dating experience. And what's, it hasn't lived up to your expectations. Well, I can't even see what that says. You do not recommend dating.
No, but seriously, listen, it's tough in these streets. As far as my experience with dating, I've dated a lot of different people. And it hasn't been so good, or it was very surface level. And what I mean by surface level, I mean like, what are you doing? How you doing? How's your day doing? I think a lot of people have lacked the art of communication and allowing things to just flow. I am so sick of answering, what are you looking for? I think you can find that out if you converse with me, right? But it's like the conversation, the communication is lackluster. And I think that's one of the huge, big issues that we have in dating. Also, the fact that we have the access to social media. So back in the day, you only dated who you saw. So who was in your neighborhood, who you saw met at the grocery store, right? Now we have social media. I can talk to people all over the world. So I have access to all these different men. So sometimes we spread ourselves thin to where you're trying to talk to everybody, but you're giving me lackluster conversation. It's basically, what are you doing? How was your day? Good night. Right. So that's part of my experience. But then also you have this, I don't want to say generation, but we have these people who think that, let's go kick it at your house and Netflix and chill. And that, we've been talking, let me back it up. We've been texting for 2 weeks. I know you. Let's chill at my house. I got liquor at the house. I got a TV. So let's chill. Nobody wants to actually go out on dates. So that's been my experience. And then when I do go out on dates with them, after that first date, so now we went on a date, let's Netflix and chill. No, sorry, that's not gonna happen. The other issue I've had is when you are a woman and you have standards and you have certain expectations when you're dating. And so a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a lot of my experience when it comes with men,
looks like she
tell you what my expectations are up front. Like what I'm looking for, I'm straightforward with you, right? Straightforward with you. But it's like, they're like, oh no, that's too much. But then when it gets cold outside, hey big head or hey stranger, or when I'm tired of talking to this person, I'm gonna come back to you. I've had situations where my safety was challenged. I've been cussed out. I've been threatened because I didn't want to talk to someone because he was 45 minutes late. He was high. And it just was very inappropriate with me. And because I didn't want to talk with him anymore, I became every name under the book. So as a Black woman, it's really hard because it's like, I want to tell you up front, like, hey, this is not working. But then I fear your retaliation to me. So sometimes I feel like Black women, we may like, not so much lead someone on, but we're kind of stay in contact with someone when we know that we're not wanting to date because of that factor. Because I've been in those situations. Been in situations where men want to ask you for money. So what's your name? Hi, I'm sorry, I don't want to mess up your name. I'm just gonna call you Black because I'm not even gonna try that. How you were saying how women was wanting to pay for you. Well, then we have this issue with men wanting to ask you for money. I've had men ask me to pay their phone bill, like all just outrageous stuff, and we've only been on one date, or we've only been conversing. So dating it's been a challenge, and I think the more educated you are as a person, the smaller your pool goes as well, because you have experience, you have education about, mental health, you have education about what you want, and you're strong in what you want. You don't want to, kind of deter from that. But then it's like, oh, you're asking for too much. So my dating experience has just not have been the best.
Now we can introduce Eric, and Eric will tell us about his dating experience, just summary of your dating experience. Has it been what you expected? And I guess you can give it a grade since Black and Jessica has
kind of initiated that kind of profile. But I would, in all honesty, to give it a grade, I would have to say, like, to be determined. I wouldn't say that I have a significant pool of data to really grade it, but I will, I'll do my best to kind of summarize what those experiences have been like. My history as far as relationships, and this is something I identified recently in recent years, I would say that, the last 5 years, is I was in very long monogamous relationships, and there was really not much time in between each relationship. So I would say that where I've out and been dating has been a short window compared to my brother Latavas. Did I say it correct? He seems to have had the opportunity to kind of explore that a little bit more. But the experiences that I have had, I would say it's still to be determined, because I don't know if you can grade dating more so just the people per se. Because I look at dating, it's going to be successful if you connect with someone that you have like values and belief systems with, someone who has the ability to not only communicate, as Jess was saying, but effectively communicate, because everyone has a different style of communication. So even if it's someone that I don't make a connection with, or it doesn't, we're not on the same wavelength or frequency, as I like to call it, I don't say that it's a bad experience. It was just that experience. I didn't connect with someone who connected with me. That's not bad on them. It's not bad on me.
So what has been, and I think last week we kind of, summarized, I guess instead of dating, what has been your relationship experience as an adult? And has that been has it been what you expected?
I mean, pretty much. I mean, it's been what I expected. Like I'm going to be hard to pin down on that. Just to be quite honest, it's just the interactions and the experiences. Jess talked about. She mentioned letting things flow. So I definitely believe in things being organic, because if you connect with someone, man, it's going to be easy. And so I'm here in this group, and I'm still single, so that hasn't happened. But then, we had the pandemic. We have to put that in perspective. I mean, people will just, you almost get forced to join some of these online dating apps. I think the Facebook dating, that got on my nerves, because I don't like to have notifications, and it wouldn't stop until you ventured into it. But I eventually found out how to cut that thing off. But so all of these experiences, meeting all these different people, it's difficult. So I've just taken the approach that it's just going to have to naturally happen. But then you have to be in environments for that to happen. So it's been, I say it's to be determined, but it sounds like Sonia's not going to let me get off the hook without giving it a grade. So my experiences, I would say, I'll give it a C.
So what do you want for your future, Eric? Like what do you want to see out of your relationships?
Probably anything anybody else wants to see. You want to be, you want peace. I really want peace. I'll be transparent. I know this is just what it is. I'm looking for a parlationship. Okay.
A parlationship?
This is my term. I made it.
Is that a cousin to entanglement?
No, not at the least. Not even.
Oh, okay. All right.
Situationship.
I'll give you a definition of parlationship. It's just a play on words. You want someone who's going to function as a partner, and you have the relationship portion of that. Anytime you're in a union, that's if you're tying your life in with someone else, they really need to be your damn partner. They need to be invested. If you lose, they lose. If they lose, you lose. And so in order to have a relationship, in my example, one, the very first thing is that you have to have effective communication. And that means even when you're upset, as you mentioned before, you do have an argument, there's not going to always be agreements. So at least when you disagree, you all have the emotional quotient to communicate in a way that it will still be effective. Because in my opinion, relationships are a conscious decision. It's not about feelings. Feelings come and go. But in a relationship, because in partnerships, you make a decision, hey, I'm going to tie myself in with this person. We have an agenda and a goal to make something successful. So that's the partnership of it. The relationship of it is, of course, that, you want somebody that you like to see when they get undressed, or they say the things you like to say, or they speak your love language and you speak theirs. So if you can get that combination together, then that will be great. So communication. And then again, to answer your question, what would I be looking for? Trust. You want to have trust, and not in any certain order here, but they definitely have to have, I want someone who has similar beliefs and values that I have, because we don't see eye to eye on that. Like, really, what are you doing? You're going to run into problems. And I want someone who loves themselves, someone who's motivated and inspired, someone who can be motivating and inspiring. And then I definitely want them to have a purpose. Like they need to have something of significance to do that's outside of myself, so that, because those type of people are going to be driven. And then of course if you have purpose, and I think intrinsically, if you meet the right person, your purposes will overlap, and you'll be able to catapult each other to get into a really good space. So that sounds like a tall order, but it's really not. I think it begins with a person really understanding what those things are for them. So for me, it's, communication, values and beliefs, trust, motivating and inspiration, that they love themselves and they have a purpose in life. And if they have those type of things, then, it's going to be, I think you have an opportunity.
I hope you guys enjoyed that discussion. And I also know you guys missed it, but Jessica gave the dating experience a D-, so she wouldn't recommend, unfortunately. But there will be more clips from this panel discussion that I'll post later, so you guys stay tuned. And get in the comments, let us know if you can relate to any of these wonderful people's dating experience beyond 40, or it doesn't even have to be beyond 40, at any age that you're dating. Can you relate to their experiences? So again, I thank you guys for coming, viewing the video, and I'll talk to you guys later.